Title: The AI voice cloning call that almost fooled me. Jonas sat at his kitchen table, finishing his second cup of coffee. The soft glow of his laptop screen lit the room as he worked through IT support tickets. It was a quiet Friday morning in São Paulo. His daughter Ana, 17 and always on the move, had left for school earlier. The house was peaceful. His phone buzzed beside the keyboard. He glanced down. Ana, mobile. He smiled and picked it up. Oi, Fila, everything okay? But the voice on the other end wasn't cheerful. Dad, it said fast, shaky. Dad, listen. I lost my phone. I'm using someone else's. I'm in trouble. Jonas froze. The tone was urgent. The panic felt real. What happened? Where are you? The voice spoke quickly, like she was scared to waste time. I can't talk long. I need to pay for something right now. I'll send you the number to send it to. Please, Dad. It's urgent. Jonas's heart raced. The voice, it was Anna's. The way she said Dad, her breath between words, the rhythm, it had to be her. Why can't I call you back? I'm in a restricted area, she said. They don't allow calls, just messages. Please. I'll explain later. Moments later, a message appeared, a name and a payment number. Then the line went silent. Jonas stared at the screen. His hands trembled slightly. Everything about the voice had sounded right. It felt like his daughter. And if she was scared, he couldn't afford to waste time. But something tugged at the back of his mind. He stood, unsure what to do next. Jonas stood motionless in his kitchen, staring at the message that had just appeared on his screen. Name: Luana Silva Pixkey, 8,394,028,391. He read it twice, then a third time, his heart pounding. It had come just seconds after the call ended. He still hadn't fully processed what he heard. Anna's voice, it was her voice, had been scared, breathless. She needed help. Money. Urgently, he tapped to call her back, but the call wouldn't go through. Immediately, a new message flashed on his screen. Please, Dad, don't call me. I told you it's a no-call zone. Just send it. I'll explain later. Please. That one word again. Please. She used it twice now. He knew his daughter, and when she repeated herself like that, she meant it. Jonas opened his banking app, his fingers moving faster than his thoughts. He hovered over the transfer option, copied the payment key, and started entering the amount. He didn't know how much she needed, so he typed R10 just to be safe. But just as he was about to hit send, something small made him pause. Luana Silva. That name. It wasn't familiar. Not a teacher Anna had ever mentioned. Not a classmate. Not a friend's parent. Nothing. He switched apps and opened Anna's last conversation. Her usual messages were casual. Be home at 5. Can we get pizza? But this one felt stiff, formal, as if written by someone trying to sound like her. Still, the voice on the phone, it had sounded exactly like her. The same soft R's, the same tone. His thumb hovered over the confirm transfer button. Then another message popped up. Are you sending it? I'm waiting. Please hurry. The pressure was real. Jonas could feel it building like heat in his chest. But now he wasn't just scared, he was suspicious. Why couldn't she voice note him? Why no mention of where she was? His instinct told him to act fast. But another part of him, quieter, deeper, told him to slow down. He put the phone down and walked over to the living room, breathing deeply. He picked up the home phone and called Anna's real number. It rang once. Twice. She answered on the third ring. Oi, Pai, she said, cheerful and totally fine. Everything okay? Jonas's knees almost gave out. Anna? He asked, voice low. You're at school? Yeah. Why? Nothing, he said, trembling now. I'll talk to you later. He hung up and stared at his mobile phone where the urgent messages still blinked. The voice had been perfect, but it wasn't hers. Jonas sat back down at the kitchen table, his heart still racing. He stared at his phone again. The urgent message blinked on the screen. Please hurry, I'm still waiting. The voice he had heard, Anna's voice, was impossible to ignore. It had the exact inflection she used when she was worried, the little catch in her throat when she was under pressure. Even now, part of him wanted to believe that it had been her, but the calm tone of the real Anna, just moments ago on the phone, told a different story. He hadn't told her why he called. He couldn't bring himself to explain what he'd almost done. Not yet. He opened his phone settings and tapped on Anna's contact. Then he checked her location. She had shared it with him months ago, just in case of emergencies. It loaded slowly. He waited. Then, there it was. Ana Escola Estadual Montero. Exactly where she said she'd be. The school. Not in trouble, not needing money, not borrowing a stranger's phone from a no-call zone. Jonas leaned back, staring at the screen. He had almost transferred money to a complete stranger, all because of a voice. A voice that sounded like his daughter's. He opened his text thread again. He stared at the messages, reading them now with fresh eyes. Please, Dad. Don't call me. I lost my phone. I'm in a restricted area. Please hurry. Before, it sounded urgent. Now it sounded rehearsed. The name in the message, Luana Silva, didn't match anyone they knew. The payment number had no ties to any account in his records. He searched the number online, no results. He tried the name Too Common, dozens of matches. Nothing helpful. Then he searched something else. AI voice scam using family member voice. The first link he clicked opened an article. The title hit him like a slap. AI voice cloning scams on the rise. How fraudsters use your loved one's voices against you. He read quickly, eyes scanning. Scammers were now using short audio clips from social media to replicate voices. Just 10 seconds of speaking could be enough to create a realistic-sounding voice clone. They used it to call parents, grandparents, anyone likely to panic. Jonas closed the article, slowly exhaling. It hadn't been Anna. It had been AI. He put down his phone and sat still for a long moment, listening to the quiet hum of the fridge and the faint chatter of birds outside. He'd almost sent money. He'd almost believed the lie. And it had all started with something so small, a voice. Jonas didn't sleep well that night. Even though Anna was safe and the money hadn't been sent, his mind kept returning to the voice, that perfect, familiar voice. By morning, he knew he couldn't just let it go. He needed to act. He called his mobile provider first. The customer service agent listened carefully as Jonas explained what had happened. Anna's number was used. The voice was hers, but it wasn't her. The agent took notes and advised Jonas to report it to the police and the National Cybercrime Unit. We've had similar reports, the agent said, but this kind of cloning, it's getting smarter. Jonas hung up and made a second call to the police. He told his story again, this time slower, choosing every word. They logged it as a case of attempted fraud and digital impersonation. Then Jonas turned to the internet. He searched AI voice scam using daughter's voice. Cloned voice scam call. Sounds like family, not family. He wasn't prepared for how many results he'd find. Articles, news videos, and personal stories flooded his screen from Canada, Nigeria, India, the UK. Mothers, fathers, even CEOs scammed or nearly scammed by voices that sounded just like their children, their spouses, or colleagues. One story mirrored his exactly. A man in the US who received a call from his son claiming he was arrested and needed bail money. The voice? AI cloned. The panic? Another video showed how scammers could scrape a few seconds of audio from a social media clip, just a birthday video or a recorded message, and feed it into AI software. What came out on the other side was terrifyingly real. Jonas felt a mix of relief and unease. He wasn't alone. But that didn't make it less scary. AI hadn't just mimicked a voice, it had mimicked his daughter's worry, her tone, her timing. It didn't just fake a message, it faked trust. And for a few minutes, it had worked. He leaned back and closed his laptop. This wasn't about being tech-savvy, it was about being human. Being vulnerable when someone you love sounds like they're in pain. That's what the scam had targeted, not his phone, not his wallet, but his heart. And that, he realized, was what made it so dangerous. That weekend, Jonas invited his family over for lunch, his parents, his sister, and Anna. He didn't tell them why in advance, just asked them to come. After they ate, Jonas cleared his throat and stood near the dining table. I need to tell you all something important, he said. It's about a phone call I got yesterday. He explained everything, the urgent voice that sounded like Anna, the fake payment request, the panic, the hesitation, and finally, the realization. Anna's eyes widened. Wait, they used my voice? Jonas nodded. It wasn't you, but it sounded like you. Exactly like you. His sister leaned forward, concerned. How was that even possible? They used AI, Jonas said. Voice cloning. They probably got your voice from one of your videos online. He turned to Anna. Those Instagram stories? The school play clip you posted? Just a few seconds is all they need. Everyone at the table was silent. Jonas continued. If I hadn't stopped to double check, I would have sent them money. I almost did. And I work in tech. That's how convincing it was. His father, a retired accountant, shook his head. If they can fake voices now, how do we know who's real? That's the point, Jonas said. We don't, not just from sound. He paused, then added, so here's the new rule in our family. If anyone calls asking for money, no matter how urgent or how real it sounds, we verify it first. We hang up, we call back on a trusted number. We double-check location. His mother nodded slowly. That makes sense. Better to be sure. After everyone left, Jonas sat down and opened his phone. He wrote a short message and posted it to his Facebook and LinkedIn. Yesterday, I almost got scammed by someone using a voice that sounded exactly like my daughter. It was AI generated. I was seconds away from sending money. If someone you love calls asking for money, pause. Even if it sounds like them. New scams don't break in through the front door, they speak through the people we trust most. Verify first. Always. The post spread quickly. Friends, co-workers, even strangers commented with shock, gratitude, and their own close calls. One message read, "This just happened to my cousin in Nairobi." Same setup. She believed it too. Jonas felt a mix of relief and quiet pride. He hadn't lost money, but now he was helping others avoid something worse. Jonas sat in the quiet of his living room, phone resting beside him, screen dark. He thought about how close he came to losing money and more than that, how close he came to losing faith in his instincts. A voice had almost fooled him, not because he was careless, but because he cared. Moral: in today's world, even voices can lie. Trust alone isn't enough. Verification matters. AI didn't knock on his door, it spoke through the voice of someone he loved. Scams no longer look like scams. They come through phones, apps, and voices we think we know. They don't ask for thousands, they ask for urgency, for panic, for quick reactions. Jonas learned the hard way that the most dangerous trick isn't the scam, it's the pressure to act before thinking. He now tells everyone, pause before you pay, verify before you trust. Follow for more real-life stories that keep you aware, prepared, and one step ahead. Subscribe for weekly scam alerts and smart tips that protect your peace.